Made with a Gingersnap crust and a pumpkin spice filling, this Instant Pot pumpkin cheesecake makes the perfect fall dessert. Hey mindful moms and dads, Kristen here. As someone who suffers from a chronic disease, I believe homemade is best, but it doesn't have to be complicated. And I also don't believe in depriving yourself of delicious desserts, and oh boy is this one a winner. So let's put on our kitchen capes to make a delicious cheesecake. The first thing we need to do is prepare our Gingersnap crust. Place about 10 Gingersnap cookies into a food processor. You can also use graham crackers if you like. I'm adding in 1/4 cup of chopped pecans. If you don't like nuts, just use a few extra cookies or a few extra graham crackers and process that together until fine crumbs form. To the food processor, I am adding in 2 tablespoons of melted butter and then pulsing that together until it just comes together like wet sand. Pour this crust mixture into a 7 by 3 inch springform pan and then just press that down using your hands. Now you can pop your crust into the freezer to set up while we prepare our pumpkin cheesecake batter, or you can bake it at 350 degrees for 10 minutes. For our batter, I'm using 16 ounces of softened cream cheese. Be sure your cream cheese is room temperature or your batter will never get smooth. Adding in 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree, 2/3 cup sugar, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, about 1/2 teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg. I believe freshly grated nutmeg tastes best. If you don't have it, just omit it altogether. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Be sure to mix this mixture until it is super creamy and there are no lumps. Sometimes I find it's easier to pop this mixture into my stand mixer or even my food processor to get it super creamy and smooth. Pour the batter into the prepared crust, spreading evenly, and I like to tap it on the counter just a couple times to get out any air bubbles. Cover tightly with foil. For the Instant Pot, we're gonna pour in 1.5 cups of cold water. Doesn't matter the size of your Instant Pot, but be sure your water is cold. Add your inner rack, pop your cheesecake onto the inner rack, and then pop your lid on your Instant Pot. Be sure your vent knob is pointed towards sealed, and set cook time for 45 minutes on high pressure. Once cook time has elapsed, let pressure release naturally. Super important so that your cheesecake doesn't crack and so that it keeps its nice creamy consistency. Once pressure has been released, you can open up your Instant Pot, remove your cheesecake, and then just let it cool at room temperature for about 10 minutes before you remove the foil. And then use a butter knife to gently loosen the sides of the cheesecake from the pan. I'm gonna cover with plastic wrap and pop into my fridge. And let me tell you, if you can wait 24 hours before you dig into this cheesecake, that will be the best result. Cheesecake is always better after it's set up for 24 hours. The flavors melt together, the consistency gets nice and cold and creamy. It's totally worth the wait. Once your cheesecake is set up in the fridge, remove the sides from your springform pan. It should come off no problem at all since we used that butter knife to loosen it. And then slice up, top with some whipped cream and maybe some sprinkling of cinnamon if desired, and dig into the perfect fall dessert. But if you're not in the mood for pumpkin cheesecake, be sure to check out my next video where I show you how to make my personal favorite, a chocolate mocha cheesecake. Out of this world. I'll see you there.